present to you a production, a publication that we have produced, pitching our adaptation for Life's Too Short. We're going to just jump right into it. By the way, our publication, you can see, is called Entertainment Express. I can't get that. Okay. And so the headline article talks about how a U.S. network adapts a British comedy, and it's just jumping around. It's fine, just allow it to do that. And so it's basically representing the, fresh off the press story that this sitcom is coming to the U.S. Popular British sitcom, and I, gave us a shout out about how we, are putting our spin on this show that airs on BBC Two in the UK called Life's Too Short. It is created and written by Ricky Gervais and Steve Merchant. They also co-star in the show. There's several celebrity cameos in the 8-episode run of the show. The first episode has Liam Neeson in it, and due to the response in the U.S., British episodes of the show, or the show itself, airs on HBO. And so that's just a general thing. We're not even in yet. So I just want to show a little trailer of the show that will kind of reflect what I just said. Oh, no, no.
Sorry, y'all, we got it.
Yeah, to turn that up really.
I'm the UK's go-to dwarf. My famous actor, and then the totally shit was a dwarf.
I never heard of you.
I'm a famous actor. What's your name? Why am I doing this documentary? Because I want people to see a sophisticated dwarf of our town who carries himself with dignity.
How do you keep getting in? I thought we made the buzzer high enough, but
I've got to pass the bar to impress it.
pass the ball. You didn't think of everything.
Life's Too Short on BBC Two.
So that gives you a little glimpse into the humor, the different elements that we're about to talk about. So let's go straight into like a quick overview or comparison of our version and the original version. So our adaptation is called The Short End as opposed to Life's Too Short. And I'll get into why that is later. And so we're sticking to the mockumentary style. Another or key difference will be that Life's Too Short doesn't play out in a sequential manner. It's pretty much, I guess, the writers just will decide what they want to happen that day. And that's what happened. There really isn't any like chronological storyline. And so that's what will be different about ours. The different subplots will play out, throughout the whole season, hopefully for multiple seasons, because Life's Too Short only lasted one season, 8 episodes, which is, pretty weird because it was well received. Our core cast is Vern Troyer, Wanda Sykes, and Kathy Griffin, as opposed to Warwick Davis, Ricky Gervais, and Steve Merchant. The set was obviously the UK there. Our set, or our, adaptation will take place in Hollywood, Los Angeles. And really quickly on the surface, I want to talk about like the cultural values that we observe. I'm going into it when we develop the problems of our main character. And so, in Life's Too Short, the main character, or the whole show, pretty much embodies British humor and what they pride themselves of having, I guess, pretty much dry, self-deprecating comedy. And that's something that they really connect with or identify with. And so, some of the themes that we found for more Western culture is like power, status, finding affirmation in someone else's misfortunes that I guess make you feel better about your life. And that's something that a lot of us do, and so that's kind of something that I thought that we should tackle when developing our plots and stuff. And so with that being said, the problem essentially in Life's Too Short is that he had a huge tax bill. He wasn't getting any work. He thinks that he's the stuff. And, all signs point to that he's not. And so, he's going through a divorce and he's just, trying to get back on top because he did star in So he's just trying to get back in the game or whatever, so that's his problem. And then we added like some layers and some more complex stuff to ours because we want to play on the theme that you want people to watch it and you want people to, I guess, see like, okay, this guy has a crappy situation. My life's not that bad. So he's not getting any work either, but it's due to his image because he's an alcoholic and he's just going spiraling out of control, right? And so he's getting bad press. He's not getting any like calls for any shows or anything. And his his doctor, the person that's supposed to be helping him or rehabilitating him, is not working crap. And that's similar to the accountant in the original version. The accountant was supposed to keep his bills straight and all that good stuff, but he wasn't, and that's why he has the tax issues. So we kind of played off that with the rehab and alcohol. And we're also planning into a little of a divorce, but we'll get into that a little later. And it all comes down to him agreeing to do a documentary so that he can, I guess, set the record straight and kind of show his journey of trying to get back out there, similar to Warwick Davis. And so as quick as go, the runtime will remain 30 minutes. The airtime, we pushed it back to 9 p.m., which is more prime time. I guess the nature of the original requires it to be on later, and then it's on cable, that premium cable channel. So I guess we won't have, even though it probably sounds like a little, some ratchetry, but you know, it's going to be appropriate for 9 p.m. Comedy Central is a network, and then BBC Two is the other. All right, so have my counterparts discuss these posters.
Okay, so on the left side, there's a poster of Life's Too Short, and then thanks to Alante, he created one that's the short end, so we kind of photoshopped our main characters, which is on the sites, Kathy Griffin and Vern Troyer, and we put the logo Comedy Central, so that would be the like, billboard thing for our show.
See how they match that? Looks cohesive. A little cohesive.
And it is just
It's just another promotional poster. And I guess the shade of it all is that this is just one character. I mean, that guy could at least, you know, dress in a tuxedo and not like any of his characters. But even though, I mean, we couldn't have Vern just pose in a suit. But the shade is that he's dressed as this one character, but he thinks he's all that and bag of chips. But he's promoting himself as this one character he played like 10 years ago. So that's that.
So for opening sequence in the original the first episode, a lot of the music, the intro music is classical, which is popular in the UK. For presentation, we use SoundCloud. Alante is pretty good with that.
Yeah, this is an episode, so I just want to play the game.
Get it interesting.
Morning time, I'm sitting on the coach, happy in the mind. I'll leave my folks in the carriage behind. Yes, I will.
Now we're going to be playing our intro music version.
Oh no!
Welcome to the world of technology.
Well, like you guys heard, the classical music is popular in the UK. We wanted to do something that we thought would be popular with, in the US, more Americanized, I guess. So
sex number, so.
So just imagine that in the opening credits.
Okay, so this is basically our segue into like our pilot, and it's a quote from the reading that was like for the Office adaptations. And it said, let me just read real quick. The success of an adaptation may be linked to its ability to reflect and interpret its new context. Despite the global success of the sitcom genre, there are clear differences in the situations, characters, and humor used by British and American sitcoms, which must be addressed by an adaptation. And so that's basically saying that you have to make changes. You cannot just, if you're going to adapt, you have to make changes that are relevant to, the cultural proximity, all that stuff. So you have to make those changes in order to be successful. And they're just, that's just a good bridge between moving into like our episode. Okay, so our pilot, so the episodes in Life's Too Short didn't have titles, they were just like episode 1, episode 2, whatever. So we decided to get creative and give our episodes titles and stuff. And so since we're, going into how he gets the short end of the stick, which is the whole joke of the whole thing. The first episode we called The Struggle is Real. And just quickly to give you like an overview or better overview of the show, like the whole description, whatever. Basically, Vern Troyer's career is like tanking. He's getting bad press for his alcoholism, and his psychiatrist sucks. All that in addition to his one-day marriage, which is a real thing that happened. But we're gonna add some fiction and stuff.
To him?
Yeah.
To him. Yeah, Vern Troyer was married for a day.
One day.
And so on his quest to restore his image, his agents, Wanda Sykes and Kathy Griffin, suggest that he joins VH1 Celebrity Rehab, and then do a documentary of his own to like help restore him. So in the first episode, you pretty much are introduced to that whole plot, and then you get to see him visit the agents and then them like interact, which is just a lot of shit because Wanda Sykes and Kathy Griffin are crazy. And then George Clooney is there. He comes while he's there to pitch and unsuccessfully pitch his idea for like a sitcom.
Okay, so here are our main characters or whatever. We have Vern Troyer playing Woodward Davis role. Then we have Wanda Sykes playing Ricky Gervais.
They're even making the same face.
Then we have Kathy Griffin playing Steve Merchant.
And then David Spade playing Steve Brody, who was the accountant. And so David Spade is going to be the psychiatrist. Like I could just see him slopping at that, like trying to do this plot. Then we have Cameron Diaz playing Vern Troyer's wife for a day, which makes sense. And that was Joe Enright played the wife in the original. And then obviously George Clooney will be our cameo, staying in for Liam Neeson, who was in the first episode of the original. And just really quickly, so to explain why we chose the women for the co-stars, goes back to the cultural values. I mean, as you know, like in America, we hear all the time about the feminist movement, like equality and all, especially when it comes to working. And so we just wanted to incorporate that in saying that they could be, in leadership at this entertainment agency, and they could be the agents of this man, and that he goes to them for counsel and for guidance and all that stuff. So that was why we made that choice.
Okay, so for the celebrity cameos, this is an example of the first episode with Liam Neeson. It's pretty funny.
Through them, you get to meet other influential people. I mean, if either of you or both could come along, it'd really help.
I can't.
That's how this business operates. It's all about networking. You'd really enjoy it.
I
promise.
wouldn't worry, trust me. Right, you've got to go. Sorry. Hello? Come in.
I work with him.
Okay, but you've got to go though. Sorry, guys.
I just.
There he is. Hello. Hi. That's worried, he's just going there.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we actually went together on Star Wars: The Phantom Menace.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
So let me just say this real quick. So you can see how the agents are telling him straight up, like, you gotta leave, you're not wanted. But our idea is to have, so you have Kathy Griffin, you have Wanda Sykes, they're gonna tell him to get out, they're gonna like yell at him. And, you know, they're not gonna be so passive aggressive. And so that's, I'm just like trying to, as you go, like, kind of get an idea or a picture of what it will look like with our cast. Yeah, and then the whole, alcohol thing, they're gonna be like tempting him by having drinks when he comes. As opposed to moving the buzzard up, they're gonna have like drinks, even though they know he has an issue. And just mess with his head.
We had a scene together. It was cut though. Do you remember?
Okay. Thanks for seeing me. I'm here because I'm thinking of doing some comedy.
Oh, right, like a comedy movie?
No, on stage. Stand-up comedy, live comedy of some kind.
Wow.
I'm a funny guy, Andy. I'm funny, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Here's some of the stuff I'd like to work on. Improv, stand-up comedy, funny monologues, crazy characters, sketches, slapstick, anecdotes, parody. Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, you notice this list? I'm always making lists.
Um,
In fact, that's probably why Steven Spielberg cast me as Oscar Schindler's List. I said, Steven, I make lists all the time. And he said, that's exactly what I'm looking for. What's funny?
sorry, I think you're joking about getting the part of Oscar Schindler because you made lists.
No. As an actor, you need stuff to draw on. And I drew on that.
Okay. Wow.
Okay, let's do some improvisational comedy.
I can't now, Liam.
Let's do some improvisational comedy.
Okay.
Give us a scenario.
Right. Okay. You're a hypochondriac and Rick is a doctor.
Excellent. Good. Knock, knock.
Come in.
Hello.
Oh no, not you again.
I've never been here before.
Sorry, I thought because you're a hypochondriac you would have been to the doctors before.
Don't presume that's a backstory we didn't agree on before.
No. That's improv though, isn't it? You sort of go with the flow.
I don't take notes. Can we go again?
Yep.
Because you ruined that.
Sorry.
Knock, knock.
Come in.
Hey,
Hi, how's it going? What seems to be the problem?
I've contracted AIDS
How did you get that?
from an African prostitute. I'm riddled with it. The prostitute's from an African country that's ravaged by starvation. So selling her body was the only financial recourse she had left.
Do you mind if I interject for a second? Sorry, I just think it's getting quite heavy, this sketch. I just wonder if perhaps, just for the sake of comedy, you might not want to have contracted AIDS from one of the prostitutes.
With Liam Neeson being in the first episode, they only had, like, I they said 8 episodes in the first season. So for the following episodes, they had Johnny Depp, Alina Carter, a famous UK band called the Right Said Fred, along with Steve Carroll, Raman Carmelu, Kat Deely, Sting, and Val Kilmer. So if we were to, continue on and make 8 episodes, we would have George Clooney in our first episode, as you guys know, because we believe he's equivalent to Liam Neeson in American terms, just a badass in general. We would also have Seth Rogen, the band or the group, the Black Eyed Peas, replacing the band Right Said Fred, Daniel Tosh, Sandra Bullock, Matt Damon, Flavor Flav, because we need to throw in some D-line celebrities like they did. And Tom Cruise, just because he's like Val Kilmer, you guys know from Top Gun. So we thought that would be a good twist.
It looks like that's it. Is there any questions? I feel like
Any questions?
this is my last stuff, but
So Vern Troyer is, I mean, he wasn't just in the Austin Powers stuff.
He was in a lot of movies.
Yeah, right.
so that's why he has an ego, because he has been in things,
Right.
but he's fallen off so
Okay.
much that he was in that one reality show, The Surreal
I
Life,
was
and
gonna
that's
ask
like
that
all
because
wacky.
like a lot of the people you chose were also on the Surreal Life.
Yes.
What about Warwick Davis's assistant? Did you guys like decide to cut her or?
She's cut. Because the reason she's cut is because Vern Troyer doesn't have the business, the boards are hired, and like we completely next to that because I guess the whole idea that there are several doors, like that's a UK thing. I mean, he said it in the intro that what did he say? He said something like, I forget what he said. Like in the UK, I'm the go-to dwarf, as if there are others, but he's the go-to. I don't really think there's a huge pool.
Well, you know, I think it's in the second episode, they do have a meeting of the Little People's Association and stuff. And so, you know, and Warwick Davis is only the vice president in that, and he kind of plays himself up as the big guy.
Exactly.
You know.
He does that a lot. And then,
Anything else?
Let me just ask you one question. Since Wanda Sykes is one of my favorite comedians, so, would it be, let's say, realistic to have you work on some of her comedy routines into the presentation, or would that be too much?
so I feel like, I mean, I think there's a fine line. I think that considering our process and, I mean, how everything went for us, I don't think that that would have been realistic for
Okay.
us.
All right.
But I don't think that it's unfair to, you know, to maybe like in the future incorporate that into it ahead of time so that it's like a requirement from the jump.
Yeah,
But when-
well, I'd probably put 4 people in a group then,
Okay.
so that somebody maybe could work on the AV stuff. Because I think it'd be really kind of, because I'm sure, I mean, if you listen to her comedy routines, you can just plug in things that she said just,
And then some examples of how.
oh, I'm sure,
And the
that'd be
other
really
day,
great.
I tried, so I sat in the lab to cut up like videos of them all because I wanted to put together this. I just wanted it to really come across how like real our idea was, or how like it could have really come together in a realistic way. But when I sat down to do it, it was just to get. I was, you know, we were just putting too much. I felt like it was too much thought into it. So we're like, we don't really have to do this, so that's why we just fixed the idea. But I mean, that would be awesome to like up the ante and have
Yeah.
it be a part of it.
Okay. Great, thanks very much.